Welcome to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Lorianne Casdia. Our goal here at Healthy Lifestyle is to inspire, educate, and empower you to fulfill a healthy, emotional, spiritual, and physical life so you can feel empowered to live the life you have always wanted and dreamed. Welcome. I hope you're having a really great day. I'm so glad you chose to join us today. And I'm inspired by the gentleman who we have on today. He is actually someone I've seen a number of times, have been educated by a number of times, and his name is Ed Dailey. He is an RN. He's an RN patient advocate. He's an E500 RYT, has been a nurse, a yoga teacher, a public speaker, an author, and educator for more than 26 years. His broad nursing background includes post-surgical care, home care, psychiatry, oncology, integrative medicine, and the operating room. Ed has always been passionate about the delivery of healthcare that comes from his own daily self-care. He's really one of those overachievers, right? He is a graduate and former faculty member of the Urban Zen Integrative Therapy Program that was inspired by Donna Karan, Rodney Yee, and Colleen Yee. Ed has been on the front line in changing the delivery of healthcare by implementing 2 integrative therapy programs at UConn Health Center and Sacred Heart Hospital in Destin, Florida. Ed has been a public educator for Young Living. This is where I have met him, Young Living Essential Oils, since 2011, and is now working for Young Living full-time as the Director of Holistic Development. He has been active in helping to develop new programs and educate that inspires Young Living members all over the globe. He currently lives in Sarasota, Florida, and Tennessee with his wife, Jena, and their 3 sons. Welcome to the show, Ed.
Well, thank you so much for having me. It's an honor to be here today.
Oh, my goodness. I'm so happy to have you here. I met you at a couple of events when I was learning about Young Living. I'm loving empowering people. One of the things we do here in Healthy Lifestyle is we empower them with information that allows them to make better decisions so they have a better life. So tell me, how did you transition from being a nurse and then working for Young Living?
Well, back in 2011 was the very first time that I was asked to speak for Young Living, and I shared the stage with Gary himself and guys like Dr. Dan Purser and Tom Reed, all physicians and their own great people. And it was a health symposium that was in Salt Lake City, and there was about 500 people there. And I spoke for the very first time for Young Living about incorporating our Young Living's premium essential oils into the hospital setting. And I walked off the stage and they asked me if I could come to convention. So that's where it all began. And then I did several city tours, in Japan and Australia, Europe. And then back in 2015, they asked me to come work for them full time. And that was a good choice. I had my fill of traditional healthcare at that point. So I've been with them and celebrating my 7th year this month, actually.
Oh, God bless. That's great. That's wonderful. Yeah. I love that, when you educate people about the products, you just thoroughly educate all the way, but you deliver it in a way that a non-medical person like myself totally understands. And so you transitioned in. How did you, what exactly do you do there for Young Living?
Well, in the beginning, really, before COVID, I was traveling the world. And that was my job. The various markets, all the Young Living markets across the world would request myself and people like Tamara Packer to come and speak and educate their members. And so that's obviously changed. We don't do so much of that anymore, but I'm working behind the scenes helping to develop the educational tools that you can use in the field so that it makes your job a lot easier. That's been a big crux of what I've been doing recently. So a lot of content has been generated. I just sent a huge folder to my boss recently, and she said, "Well, who helped you with all this?" I said, "No one helped me with it. That's my wife's work in Young Living for the past 7 years." She's like, "Wow." So that's really what I've been focusing in on, and also events. So last year we had several events at our farms, one at St. Mary's and another one at Highland Flats. And so getting people and connecting them to the farms, as Gary would have, is obviously one of the main things that we want to do for anyone that's involved with Young Living.
One of the things I love about Young Living is you do control your farms. And so there are how many farms do we have?
Oh, there's so many. Yeah, we have
Yeah,
so many partner farms. Yeah. So there's a
yeah,
lot.
all over the world, and they're
Mhm.
we're very good. We have this seed to seal guarantee on the
Mhm.
products,
Mhm. Mhm.
and I love that because now I know that it really is at a high quality. And I find that when doing some research, the standards that Young Living has, that Gary and Mary have,
Mhm.
is so much higher than the standards that are out there with like the FDA and things like that, because they really want to deliver almost a medicinal quality
Mhm.
essential oil, as opposed to an essential oil that has a lot of carrier in it. Can you talk about the difference between the Young Living essential oil and other essential oils, and how does one tell the difference? Because I have people go, oh yeah, I have peppermint, and they bought it at the local food store. Now I
Mhm.
know that there's a big difference between that and the Young Living, but can you explain the difference to our listeners?
Sure. So again, in any business, you have one of the main things you have is process, and Gary created the process for distillation and farming and all those things. So it starts when the seeds are put in the ground, the soil that they're in, how they're harvested, when they're harvested. But it really comes down to the distillation. Many companies will distill and they'll add solvents and chemicals to speed that process up, and Young Living doesn't do any of that. And then when that oil is extracted from all that raw material, then that gets put into a bottle, obviously, and it's not diluted in any way, shape, or form. So many of the competitors' essential oils are diluted, and they're what we call adulterated. They have synthetic contaminants or compounds in them. And Young Living tests more than anybody in the business. I mean, it's on average of at least 20 to 25 times that a product is tested before it actually goes out to be sold to anyone that's wishing to buy Young Living essential oil. So it really comes down to the process that Gary actually created for the essential oil movement and how they're used. And you can really tell the difference. And I tell people to do side-by-side comparisons all the time. Buy a bottle of whatever at Whole Foods and put it up next to a Young Living lavender bottle, and you will immediately smell the difference. And you'll feel the difference too, actually, on your skin.
Yeah, the oils vibrate very high and fast because they're so well crafted, well distilled. And I also know that we don't put carrier oils. Those are carrier oils, or something like the olive oils, the jojoba oils, things like that. That we add some oils to it and it carries it. And for me, the test always was, if you take the oil for the most part and put it on a piece of paper, if it's pure essential oil, it will dissipate on the paper. If it has carrier oil, and it'll actually oil rings on the paper. So that's one of the tests. And another test somebody told me about, I haven't tried it yet though, but most of, if not all of the essential oils, if you put them in the freezer, you will see the difference, because other ones with synthetics in it, oils in it, will freeze where our pure essential oils do not freeze. So it's a fun little test if you want to do that, if you want to see what you're getting. But you know what I noticed about it, and I'm hoping you can lend some light to it. I noticed that a lot of the essential oils, and there's over 200, right? 250 something at this point, oils that you select, and combinations, compounds, if you will. What I noticed is that sometimes one oil will be not smelling great for me, but when I start using it, then it becomes smelling great for me. It almost like there's a need for me to use it. Is that is that a scientific thing? Is that a fact, or is that just, me being a little cray-cray?
No, it's not cray-cray at all. I think there's many times that I don't necessarily vibrate or vibe into using an essential oil, and then I start to use it, and it's like, wow, having that oil connect with my physiology creates something all new, right? And so that's really what's happening. So, one of the oils that I never really cared for all that much was Juvaflex in the beginning. And now once I started to use it and put it on the soles of my feet and put it on my liver during the day, and that's like, oh, wow, that actually does have a very pleasant smell. It is, I can feel, so it's the oil interacting with us as humans that I think changes our perception of what that really is and how it's going to work for us.
That's really interesting.
Then there's the quantum field, which many people don't talk about. Take a bottle of whatever oil. It's just like, and then you say, okay, how do I want this oil to benefit me? And, just, bringing that attention into your mind, when you create those thoughts and then you actually use that oil, you're chiming into something very, very different. So that's another great way that the quantum field. So quantum physics teaches us that everything is possible. And so I'll share a story with you. So back in the 80s, Stanford University did a study, and they had 75 men aged 75 that went to this farm, and they wanted to see what if the mind perceives something, would the body physiologically react to that? And so a lot of these guys came in with walkers, wheelchairs, etc. They showed movies of, they went back in time 50 years earlier. So they were watching movies from 50 years ago, driving cars, eating foods that they ate as younger men. And what was interesting was that their bodies actually physiologically responded. So number one, they were producing growth hormone and testosterone at an alarming rate, like off the chart. And two, the guys that came in wheelchairs and walkers walked out of there. So what does that say? It's the mind's perception of the physical reality that creates the physiological change. So, okay, take that into an essential oil. If I have an essential oil and I have a perception about that oil and what it may or may not do, does that really change the physiology of the human being as they apply it to themselves? I believe so.
Yeah. And that makes sense too, because the name of the oils too make a difference for me. Like I'll go in the morning and stand before my rack of oils and decide based on how I'm feeling which one I gravitate to, and that's the one that I do. And every single time, that's the oil I needed for the day. Sometimes it's transformation. Sometimes it's surrender. A lot of times it's surrender. Gratitude I use every day anyway, but we have gratitude. Abundance is a very favorite one of mine. The interesting one, we were talking about oils. I was thinking about one of the oils that when I first smelled it, everybody raved about it. I'm like, oh, I must have this oil. So I get the oil in, I smell it, and I'm like, oh my God, it smells terrible. What is the deal with it? And a friend of mine said, use it. You'll see. So it was white angelica. I used it on what I call my angel wings, which is, back here where your shoulder blades are. And I used it on that. And then it started to smell absolutely beautiful. It just converted from one to the other. And I'm addicted to that one. So now I understand why everybody's like, oh, you must use this. So, and I use that every day too, because it's real important. It's like, it's a connection with source, higher power, universe, whatever you refer to your higher power as. But, I love that about it. And I love the vibration. Let's talk a little bit about why essential oils vibrate. How do we explain that to the average bear? When I say that everything vibrates, they look at me like I have three heads, and I'm like, really, everything is vibrating, ourselves included.
So, what are essential oils? Well, it's basically the essence of a plant. Is a plant an energetic thing? Well, of course it is. And so you've basically extracted, a specific type of energy, an essential oil. You've harnessed it, you've captured it, you've put it into a bottle, and then you're using it on your energetic field, which is you. And so, yes, it's just, as I say all the time, at Young Living, we do really embrace nature's living energy. And that's what an essential oil is to me. It's nature's living energy. And so you're just taking two energies and combining them. Look, Lorianne, one of the first things I do every morning is I get up and I fill my diffusers in every room. I have a diffuser in every room. Why? Because I know that they're powerful. And I know that an essential oil or any smell affects our mood, memory, emotion, cognition, behavior. That's true. That's the limbic system as we know it. That's anything. So why would I not do that? If I smell joy, I feel happy. If I smell valerian, I feel grounded. If I smell freedom, one of the blends I'm really, really liking, I feel calm and relaxed. It's like, it's energy interacting with energy.
Yeah. I have diffusers too all over the place. And matter of fact, we're just closing on a townhouse, and I have my diffuser already boxed up to bring down to the new townhouse because the oils come with me and must be in every space that I'm with. So, and everybody's used to it now. And my son laughs at me, but he's the first one to ask me, "Hey, Mom, can you give me that oil you gave me the other day?" It's like, of course I can. So it's fun. I have people putting oil on the bottom of their feet. I have them putting it on their heart center. Joy is a favorite. My favorite thing in the world to do, just as an aside, is I get on a plane and I put on joy. And as people are walking past me, every single woman without fail, doesn't matter what their age is, stops and says, "What is that?" And you could just feel like a shift in how everybody is interacting in the plane because we brought the essential oils into the plane. I'm actually protecting myself from all the stuff that you can attract while you're in that can. But yeah, right. I have a personal diffuser that I bring, and I literally had one of the flight attendants was beelining to me, and I had my little personal diffuser going off, and she came over to me and I was like, "Oh, ruh-roh, she's going to yell at me, right?" And she was like, "What is that?" And I was like, it's a personal diffuser. And she goes, "Where did you get that?" And I was like, "Well, here's the website." She goes, "What oil is in it?" So she bought right there, standing right there. She bought the personal diffuser and she bought the essential oil standing right there on the plane. In the meantime, here I thought I was going to get yelled at. I had my mask on, but I was like, we were having the whole conversation. But it's funny how people gravitate towards it and how it really lifts us up. It elevates us. It changes our moods. It helps us get down the path that we want to get down, especially if we're stuck. Have you found that a lot of times it helps people get unstuck? It helps them get more focused. Do you find that?
Yes, very much so. In the hospital, when we worked in the hospital, and we were doing the integrative therapy program, so it was basically yoga therapy, which was in bed, in chair movements, restorative postures. We were doing that, Reiki, Young Living essential oils, nutrition, and contemplative care of the dying patient. And so many times when people are in pain, now I'm not talking about making the pain less, but when you are able to provide them a sensation that focuses their attention into something besides the pain, that's often very helpful. So many times we would, put a cotton pad and I'd have them smell lavender or peace and conning. But yes, they smell, they're feeling this way, and then it radically shifts just by the scent of whatever essential oil or oil blend that you're using.
Yeah. I love the self-care, and sometimes I find, and especially if I'm not in the greatest mood, helping someone else pulls me right out of it, because I'm not diving inward. I'm getting outside of myself and helping somebody else. And by sharing the oils, that seems to help me. And again, by putting it on, that act of putting it on, it's a mood changer immediately. So some of the things that you have gone out and taught, and in the second half, I really want to talk about some of the products that we have specifically for women that are just amazing. I mean, we have beautiful products for everybody. We have children, products for animals, we have products for males, we have products for females, but I'm talking about the Progessence plus the PD8020, the combination, like the best way to do that. I know so many people are on so many pharmaceuticals for that particular reason, for changes in their lifestyle and changes in their life, that they're having the major, I mean, I've watched people melt in front of me where they just started, it was a waterfall right in front of us. And then utilizing these products has changed it. So I do want to get into that in the second part, but what's your why? Why do you do what you do?
For me, I've always been wanting to help flip the white light switch for people, help them, bring them out of a state of not knowing into a state of knowing and empowerment. My mom, before she passed away at 90, she did ask me, she said, "Well, what do you do for this company?" And I thought about it for a few minutes. And that's what I told her. I said, "Well, I turn the light switch on for people." And that's really empowering to see someone go from not knowing about whatever difficulty they're facing physiologically, emotionally, whatever, to transitioning and transmuting that into being able to deal with effectively and cope with it effectively. So for me, and I want people to make informed decisions. I want people to know that they have other options. Many times people feel that they're backed into a corner. I'll give you an example. When I became a nurse patient advocate, one of the women I worked with was on over 36 medications, had lost 50 pounds, had chronic nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, was a mess. And I worked with her and we created a medical timeline. And I went to every visit that she went to with the doctors over the next 3 months. And we got her from 36 medications down to 3. Wow. Now, that's huge.
Yeah.
And so it was just someone came to intervene to say, no, this isn't correct. Like, you have another choice. But she felt like that was the only choice. And so just using my skills to help people make better choices, to open the doors, to open the windows and say, wow, there's something different that I can do. I didn't know that. And so that really is what, gets me up and really motivates me on a daily basis. And, people said to me, well, oh, hey, you're not in healthcare anymore. And I say, that's incorrect. I'm in the health part of healthcare, which is what we all should be in. Western medicine is good if you've been in a motor vehicle accident, but they are not there to help you on a day-to-day basis to maintain a healthy lifestyle and a healthy life.
Agreed. You are listening to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Lorianne. We're going to come back, speak a little bit more with Ed Dailey. He is the Director of Holistic Development for Young Living. And we're going to just take this sharp break. We will be right back. Well, welcome back to Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne. I am Lorianne Casdia. If you would like to be a guest on Healthy Lifestyle with Lorianne, you think you want to lift up your company, let people know what you do, get your messaging out there, please reach out to us at healthylifestylewithla@gmail.com. We are more than happy to have you on so that you can get your messaging out. We love to let our listeners know more about what choices are out there for themselves. We're not always empowered with that information, and we like to empower you right here at Healthy Lifestyle. With that said, I want to jump back in with Ed Dailey. Thank you so much for being on today, Ed. Loving this conversation. I'm an advocate. Everybody on my show who listens to my show knows I'm a big Young Living crazy woman. I'm a brand partner, and I really love the products, but I love the products because I use the products, right? So, and I was a customer before I became a brand partner. But I believe so much in what the products did for me. I wanted to shout it from the rooftops, which my listeners know I do just about every week. I do some kind of plug somewhere along the way for Young Living products. But for me, I actually had a life experience change where I was going through some changes, and I was having some estrogen shortages. And so my medical doctor, my GYN, put me on estradiol. And I'm not a great fan of pharmaceuticals. I don't really like taking medicine in any way, shape, or form. I've always tried to be as holistic as possible with myself, my family, my home. And so that was really not resonating with me, but I didn't know that I had options until Young Living came along. And this product called Progessence Plus was available. And I understood that I could use that, and PD 80/20, which I'm going to ask you to talk more about on a more scientific level. But for me, what happened is I thought, all right, I'm on estradiol. I want to get off of estradiol at all possible. So I took myself off the estradiol, of course, with medical understanding. I spoke to my doctor, the whole 9 yards. And I spent a month, and I was like, okay, let me make a commitment to myself to try to just use this product. I used the Progestin Plus, the PD 80/20, and I was able to not ever go back onto estradiol. I have been on the Progestin Plus and PD 80/20 for about 3 years now, successfully. I don't have the hot sweats. I don't, bust out in a flame. I don't do that anymore. I used to actually I'll never forget. I was in front of my then CEO, and he was asking me a question, and I just started like sweating like a waterfall. And all I was thinking of, he's going to think I'm not telling him the truth because I'm sweating like a crazy woman. And I told him, yeah, sorry, I'm just having, change of life thing going on. And he's like, okay, we don't have to talk about that. So it made him very uncomfortable, but at least he knew I was being honest about it. I was just sweating profusely. So tell us, how does this work? Why does it work? Are those the two best things to use? Are there other things we can augment with?
Well, I firmly believe any time that we can use a natural product, I do think it's actually better. Look, I'm not anti-medicine. If you do, I worked as a nurse, obviously, for many, many years in traditional setting. If you're having a heart attack, I'm not going to send you to Whole Foods. You're going to go to the ER. Yes. You're going to get an aspirin on the way there. I'm not going to get you a smoothie. And we're going to do what's medically necessary. Now, there are other things, natural products, and you talked a lot about PD 80/20, and that's really a supplement that contains things like pregnenolone, DHA, and these are naturally produced by the body and they decline when we age. And what is pregnenolone? Well, it's a key precursor for the body's production of estrogen, DHEA, progesterone, and it has a huge impact actually on your mental health acuity and your memory as well. What's DHEA? What does it do? Well, it's involved in maintaining the health of the cardiovascular system and the immune system, which I think we all would agree that that's pretty important. And these ingredients really combine to help the endocrine system and maximize your internal health. And what is the endocrine system? Well, it's your pituitary, your pineal, your thyroid, your pancreas, your thymus gland, your testes, and your ovaries. And this product really does support endocrine function and really, really helps to maximize in internal health. So I think that's just easy 411 for people to see and get. And why? And that's really the question you said or asked earlier, like, why do you do what you do? Like, because I want people to know why they need to take a product. Yeah. I'm asked all the time, do I need to take all these? Well, probably not. Like, but what's on top for you, emotionally, physically, and spiritually that you need to deal with? And then how can we target your nutritional supplementation to the products that you actually need?
Yeah. I always learned when I got certified as an herbalist and aromatherapist years ago with Rosemary Gladstar Slick. I was always taught that, your body will tell you what you need if you pay attention to it. Our bodies are amazing. They adjust and adapt as these things come along, like viruses or flus or coronavirus. It will actually adapt and learn how to fight it off in the future so it doesn't happen again to you. And we build our own immunity system. So if we keep the immunity system strong, it makes it stronger to fight those things off. And that's the thing that I know I did throughout the last couple of years, is really worked on making sure my immune system was really as up to par as I could possibly make it. And it just made me feel better. And the PD 80/20 actually made me feel better. I did know that I called it my synapses were really working a lot faster. I was able to process a lot faster. You can only imagine I actually would talk a lot faster. And most people would say, how could that be? You talk too fast now. But it allowed me really to process. And I just felt more connected with myself, if that makes any sense. And I saw a big difference. And to be able to, again, like you, when necessary, Western medicine is brilliant. It's really good in an acute situation. But when we're thinking about long-term situations or long-term taking care of ourselves, that's when natural products come into place. And the quality, I am a label reader. So read your labels, read your labels, read your labels. My feeling has always been, and again, as I was taught, if you can't pronounce it, one, look it up. And two, think about it before you put it in your body. I know a friend of mine said to me that if you can't eat it, why would you put it on your body? If you can't eat it, why would you put it on your body? Because it's being absorbed by the largest organ that you have. So why wouldn't you put it on your body? Why would you put something toxic on your body? And we put it in our hair. 1,4-dioxide is in a lot of the hair products that we have. If you have sulfates, that's all in there. 1,4-dioxide, dioxane and dioxide are carcinogenic properties. And they're in our makeups. They're in our hair shampoos, our conditioners, a lot of the body products, and it's allowed. The FDA allows it. It doesn't mean it's good for us. It is banned over in Europe. It is not banned here in the United States. So there's 132 properties that they can use here in the United States that are banned over in Europe. Over here, we only ban 32. So when I looked at that and I heard that number, I thought, oh my goodness, that's just craziness. How can people learn more about the Young Living products? Because there is such a breadth of products that they can actually ditch and switch. They can move to the shampoos that we have. They can move to the cleaning products. I am a Thieves household cleaner, crazy woman. I'm a nut with that. I absolutely love it in the house. Not only does it smell good, it's very, very effective, and it really cleans really well. How does someone get introduced to the products the best way? Other than, of course, someone like myself.
Yeah, usually it's person to person. Sometimes people will just go to our website. Sometimes you meet an individual. When I first moved to the Sarasota area, a good friend of mine said, "Hey, I need you to see a friend of mine." She was just diagnosed with the BRCA gene for breast cancer? And I said, sure. So I went over to her house and we had a conversation, and she said, well, I just want to ask you, like, do you think I should have a double mastectomy? And I said, whoa. I said, I will never tell you what to do with your body. Number one. I said, that's a decision up to you. And then I said, do you have a laundry basket? She said, what? A laundry basket? So she gave me her laundry basket, and we went up into her bathroom, and we actually put all her makeup, all her personal care products. We went to all her cleaning products and all those things. And we just put them into I said, all these things will turn on those genes. They'll turn on those BRCA genes really quickly if you continue to use them. I said, would you like a different solution? She said, yes. And so we went over to the computer, and I introduced her to the Thieves line. And so she started using the laundry detergent, the soap, the toothpaste, like all the hand soap. And that was the door that she walked through because she was ready. Now, some people might come through the supplement door or the essential oil door or the makeup door, the Savvy Minerals door. So
oh my God, the Savvy Minerals are brilliant, and they feel so good too. So I'm really 92. Do I look 92?
No, you don't. I'm 108. I'm 108, by the way.
You look great.
I got you beat.
You don't look a day over 40, my friend.
So it's just really what door they're going to walk through, and then if they're looking at Young Living, obviously they're open, and then teach them how they benefit. That's really how they win.
It's so funny when I was introduced to the products. I came in through the essential oil door, but then I saw the cleaning. I love to clean. That's my guilty pleasure, is, believe it or not, cleaning. That's where I get to think a lot when I'm cleaning. But I used to be Clark's Bleach crazy woman, to the point where a friend of mine was at the end of my driveway, walked up, was knocking on my door. I opened the door. He goes, "What the heck are you doing?" And I said, "Washing my floor." Why? He goes, "I could smell the bleach at the end of your driveway," which is about a half a mile. And he could smell the bleach. And I was like, oh, that's probably not good. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, why do I use the products that I use? Because I just blindly went in and bought these products. And no matter what, matter of fact, one time I couldn't remember what it was. I think I was pregnant with my first son. Couldn't remember what it was. I was looking for the label. I couldn't find the label. And I was like, what is it? I couldn't even remember the name of the product. I was just looking for the label. They had redesigned their label, so I was messed up. But it was Campbell's Soup at the time. And I couldn't remember what the label was. But then I started thinking about, why do I use those products? It's because my mom did. I didn't do any research behind it. I wasn't reading the labels. I wasn't looking at how it was impacting me and my family. And when I started doing that, that's when I started ditching and switching, as we call it. I started ditching the chemicals, and I started switching to natural things, bringing that in the house. And I was told by someone, it was a leader, actually, in Young Living. She said to me, what are you using in your hair? I can smell it. It's very toxic. And I was like, I don't know, this product I always use. And she goes, oh, okay. She goes, you start using our products, I guarantee you'll start smelling what I'm smelling. And I'm like, what are you smelling? I started smelling my hair. I couldn't smell anything. And I just kind of laughed. I put it to the back of my mind. I then did a ditch and switch on all of my products, my makeup, my hair care, my body care, my house care, everything, my laundry. And then about 2 months later, I'm walking by someone and I'm like, what is that plastic smell? That is just terrible. It was like this toxic smell. And I was like, oh no, I turned into my friend. It's almost as if I got my smell senses back. It was just amazing, because now those products that I smell that I used to love go, ooh, isn't this smelling that? Now I smell the toxic chemicals in it, which can you explain why that happened? Help me out here, because I was amazed that happened.
Well, first of all, there's 82,000 known toxins to the human species. And, we only know what 10,000 of them do physiologically. So that's 72,000 that we have no idea. So your ability not to even smell doesn't surprise me. And people aren't aware. And it's not a newsflash for you, Lorianne, but for many it should be. It's just like, look, big pharma, cleaning companies, food companies, they do not have your health in your best interest. They have their profits in your best interest. Now, what is your health worth? I ask this question all the time to people. Well, my health is worth a fair amount of money to me, because I want to stay healthy and strong. I want to avoid health challenges later on. So you're not being able to smell something, you ditch, you switch, and all of a sudden, wow, I can smell again, and I can actually smell what's in those products. That's very common. People do that all the time, because they're not just affecting one system, they're affecting every system, your endocrine, cardiovascular, immune, like it affects everything. So we have to understand that. And so for me, if I was to go out and I'm going to buy food, which I consider to be medicine, to me, yes, I'm going to pay the $1.50 more for an organic lemon than I am the non-organic lemon. So to me, it's my health is worth a lot. And if financial constraints are in there, then I say, well, make a choice with what you can afford for this month. And then, next month, maybe you switch it out, whatever. The one thing about Young Living products too, is that they're put together. Gary wasn't just an amazing distiller in essential oils. He was an amazing master and distiller when it came to our products as well, especially our supplements, which, he was the first person to put essential oils into supplements, which is amazing to me. Like, he thought of this. And, the first product was multigreens. It used to be called Vitagreens. And then he saw the things that he wanted to see happening with people when they took the product. And so that's why he made the changes for it, which I think is just a beautiful story. Gary was a visionary. He really was. He was a great visionary.
It's such a loss to the world that he's not here anymore. But look at the legacy he left behind, and that continues to be carried on with Mary and Jacob and the rest of the family. It's really important. I love what you said, that the pharmaceutical companies and other companies, they're putting profit over purpose. I know in Young Living, it's purpose over profit. And I know that by, and some innovative things that I just amazing. It's usually $15,000, as I understand it, an acre to weed an acre of one of our farms. And we use goats on our lavender farms to weed, which I think is like the best narrative, because they discovered that they don't like the lavender, but they'll eat everything else around it. What a brilliant idea. And this is the kind of research that he did. And Young Living goes beyond that. And we help small third world countries. I know he went over there and did a project when there was an earthquake in, I think it was Naples. Was it Naples or Nice? No, I think it was
Nepal.
It was Nepal. Okay. He went over there and did, like, reconstructed their village, brought all the equipment in. I remember Jacob telling us that story, and those kind of things are what resonates with me. I want to be aligned with a company that not only cares about me, but also shows it in their actions as well. Profits from the products that everybody buys is going to that as well. Plus there's foundational money. There's all kinds of things that Young Living does to really promote just living as good humans together and recognizing that. But Gary was he was just beyond a visionary. If there is such a thing, beyond a visionary, because he really saw, he knew what he wanted. He's firm in what he wanted. Matter of fact, I heard a story. Please confirm if this is true. I heard a story that there was a delivery of, I believe it was wintergreen, and it got refused away. The whole entire thing got refused away. And even though Gary knew another company would use it, he wasn't worried about waste, because he didn't like that either. It was not up to the standard of Young Living. So he actually had to put that product on hold until he got the wintergreen in. And I is that a true story? Because that to me,
I have not
amplifies it.
Yeah, I have not heard that story, but I know that Gary has refused a lot of oils in his time when they did not meet the standards through testing. And we've turned away more companies and more, people that want to sell us essential oils, whatever. So yeah, it just doesn't work that way with Young Living. Gary was tough. Gary was tough with that, and he stuck to his standards. And I've been doing a lot of research into old documents and things, and I've gained a new respect, I would say, for the man over time that I've been doing this research, because he was just way ahead of his time when it came to a lot of things. And I really appreciate that. And that's why I love this company.
Yeah, I really appreciate it too. And you being part of it, we appreciate you so much as a brand partner. We appreciate you so much because the information you share with us on such a level that we can actually digest it and really comprehend it is beyond wealth to us, so that we can continue sharing, because I don't know and understand why things work the way they do. I just know they're working. To be able to articulate why they work the way they are, it just really brings a lot of value and helps other people give it a try, do that ditch and switch. It's actually my goal to help people just ditch this product that is not good for you and get into a product that you're going to not only feel good about for yourself, you're going to be healthier, but also you're also giving back to other people in the world as a result of what Young Living does. So are we rigidly holding on to the standards of Gary Young? Does Mary do that?
Rigidly holding on to the standards? Well, I think, well, that we're set down. Look, we set the bar as a company. We set the bar. Our aim is high. When I create an educational content, my aim is high. When we do a foundation fundraiser, the aim is high because that's who we are as a company. And that's Gary. Gary always aimed. And look, who builds a distillery in Canada in the middle of winter? When the Northern Lights Farm, when he was building that, they said, "You're crazy. Like, this is the middle of winter. You can't do that." He said, "Thank you." And he built the distillery. He poured the concrete. They had to warm the concrete so it wouldn't freeze inside the container it was coming. I mean, that's, to me, tells you about the determination of the man and what he wanted to bring to this world.
He was unstoppable. There was nothing he couldn't do. He's like, okay, but he still found a way to do it. And it's just, it was the making sure that it happened was more important than all the blocks that people threw in his way. So I love that unstoppable feeling. I love that he just had that vision. I love that he brings us this high quality product. You guys continue to do so. You are a gift to all of us because you help us be educated. That you're putting together this program is such a well-needed gift. There's a lot of information out there. Some of it's misinformation. You really need to go to the source, and you are really our source. And so thank you so much for joining us today on Healthy Lifestyle. I really appreciate you so much, Ed. Very much. Thank
you for having me. It's been my pleasure.
And thank you all for joining us on Healthy Lifestyle with Lori-Ann. It is a pure gift that you choose. And I know you get to choose a lot of different things you can think of, listen to, but you choosing to be here is really important to us. And it really makes my heart soar. So we're happy to be here. I look forward to seeing you next time. Until then, what do I always say? Play a higher role, serve a higher purpose, show up for you, and show up big. Until next time, be well.